Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time I'm going to be playing in my favorite vehicle in the game, the Comet, a vehicle which I very recently got 3 marks on my gun barrel for, which was the first tank that I did so. Now I'm playing on Sand River Assault, and I want to just quickly talk through what my plan is for this battle and why I'm going to do this. Sand River Assault can be quite intimidating to play. As the attacking team, you all spawn together. Unlike, for example, Erlenberg, where you would spawn in the east and the west and then have to attack the town. Now, because you all spawn together, it becomes quite tricky to divide your forces between the west and the east attack passes, as you have to decide rather than the game placing you there. Now, I feel personally that attacking from the west is very tricky indeed, because of one overpowered location, right up here. And if the enemy's tank destroyers are competent, trying to attack from the mid-ridge can also be tricky, because unless you're in a tank with good camo and you make it into some bushes, this mound is going to kill you. And the same goes for if you want to attack down this pass here, or if you want to make it into the ditch and then to attack up here. Ye and behold, this hill is going to kill you. So let's just take a quick look at what I'm talking about with some example gameplay of me being on the defending side. Here we can see that we're easily able to engage the tanks that try and take the west flank from above, and we can create quite a graveyard before they can even get close enough to see us. From this same position, we can also shoot the tanks that try to attack down the eastern pass with ruthless efficiency. And from this same position, we can engage the tanks that are on the mid-ridge. And look how close the ST-1 has to come to us before he's even able to see us. We don't get spotted until he's literally 330 meters away. The Jagdtiger just simply can't attack, and as soon as the Object 704 gets spotted, he gets removed. And so I've had quite enough of this hill. And whenever I'm in a tank that can go about 40 or 50 kilometers and get to a forward position quickly, I'm going to try and take the risk for my team. And it also results in some rather ridiculous games. One of the keys to using this tactic is to communicate with your team at the beginning. Ping the map, let them know what you're doing, and also try and indicate to them that the mid-ridge is going to be safe for them to engage at, because you're going to stop people from using the hill to be able to shoot down on them. If you can stop them from using that high ground to shoot at your mid-ridge, in turn the mid-ridge can help support you and hopefully create some kind of synergy there. The view range on this tank is already allowing us to light up a few targets for our team. The Jagdpanzerwehr, who usually could quite happily sit there and shoot at guys who would advance through this path and this path, can no longer do so. Also, you can stop slower moving vehicles that like to rush down into the town very early indeed. And this BDR is just on a bad side of a matchup. You are going to get heroes, however, who try and rush you, like this Tiger. And you're just going to have to do your best to try and fight it out with them, and hope that you've communicated with your team sufficiently that they're going to help you. And this Tiger is quickly realizing that my friends up on the ridgeline are going to take him out very quickly indeed. So that's one tier 7 heavy tank that's been baited into death. Oh, and here comes our next contender, Mr. Tiger P, rolling up. We put one shot into him, and now we're going to go backwards and forwards to try and avoid his shot. He misses, and that allows us to go to town on the side of his tank. One thing from this position, however, is you have to watch out for sneaky people like this T-67 that like to shoot you. Now, if we had more people directly up here on the ridgeline, the T-67 could not do that. And in fact, he still takes a hit, probably by the Jackson there. We want to keep spotting that hill to stop the tank destroyers from dominating it. But in the meantime, this T-67 thinks he's going to shoot me in the backside from there. Nope. I think about taking a swing at the Hellcat, but his 90mm gun kind of scares me off. And I want to go back to this position where I can provide eyes for my team throughout the rest of the map. We check out to see where the ARL would be aiming. And then we go to town on this Tiger P, and also light up the Jagdpanther for my mid-ridge team. Having the 12 degrees of gun depression here on the Comet does give us a huge amount of flexibility. We managed to track the Jagdpanther with our first shot, and then we zero in on him to keep him tracked. We're going to stop him from moving and aiming at us, and hopefully allow our friends to start taking him out. And if we want to penetrate him, we need to shoot him in the lower plate. Once he had been taken down to a low amount of health, and we knew we could secure him in 2 shots, we did so. And we have now completely broken through the enemy team. If their tank destroyers had been sneaking around up there, then these guys would have very likely have died in this location here. You can stop that completely by trying to rush to this frontal position where you can easily spot the hill and stop them from defending that flank. Now it just becomes a case of playing my favorite tank on a beautiful map for it. Where's the artillery? There he is. Good night. AMX. So from here on in, it's really a case of let's try and find some tanks and pick them apart. Luckily, we've got better view range than this Churchill and camo rating. I decide to not fire. Oh, I fire now actually. Doesn't look like he can see us. Poor guy probably doesn't have a full skilled commander. We still have to dig out a Panther, a TOG-2, and an E25 from the mix. But luckily for us, they're separated. Panther puts a good hit into our turret. I try and dodge his shots, and all that ends up getting me is shot in the backside by my team. I don't want to repair my gun right now because I'm not firing. Now I repair the gun when I start shooting at this TOG. Auto aim at the TOG, hope for luck, but he dies before we can connect the shell. And now, this is where you want to be against a Panther in the Comet. I think about going down this slope, but if I'd gone down this slope, then I would have been on an even playing field with him. There was no way for me to poke my gun around this corner, and it'd be stupid of me to do so. Instead, let's use this position and the 12 degrees of gun depression on this tank to begin working him. We aim one into his engine deck you see there, setting him on fire. And from here, it's just a feast. And there you have it, one option for you how to try and take the boring out of Sand River Assault. That is the highest experience I've ever got in my Comet. 9,459 experience for our triple. That's 2,102 base experience in a tier 7 medium tank. Because not only did we put the great DPM and gun depression in the Comet to work, achieving 4,000 damage, but we also got a patrol duty medal, detecting 1 short of getting a scout medal over half the enemy team, and 3,600 damage upon detecting. We kept their team lit up, and we stopped them from digging in, which would have made assaulting them much more challenging. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only way to assault on Sand River, not at all. There are lots of other options for you that may work. And also, don't be fooled, this is a very dangerous play, and quite often this is going to happen to you. Sometimes you're going to make it into position, you're going to light up targets on the ridge lines, as we can see here, but it's not going to matter because you're going to be overwhelmed by a surprising amount of the enemy tanks. The problem with going into aggressive locations like this is that unless you can hold them, you have no way of falling back. If the enemies simply want to kill you, especially if they're in a large amount of platoons, as we can see here, 2 IS-3s and 3 111s, then it's going to be very tricky for you to do so. However, if by the time that you have died and you've finished scouting, the result is that you've got 1 111 killed, you've got 1 IS-3 to half health, you've got 1 111 to 75%, 1 to 63% and a T32 to half health. That's not a bad trade really, is it? You allow your team to make the shots in on the enemy, and we have probably taken out the equivalent of 1 tier 8. Those two combine into 2 tier 8s, probably 2.5 to 3 tier 8s there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see another replay showcasing this tactic, then simply click up here and you can go through to Rajabay's playing in his WZ111. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about Sand River Assault. Where do you feel the strongest positions are? And do you think that the map needs to be changed in any way? I'll be interested to know what you guys think. Anyway, as always guys, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic and hopefully I'll see you soon.